Wholesale Hotline. I'm Brent Daniels.
I'm Jamil Damji.
And I'm Jerry Norton.
And I'm Morby.
Every week we bring you the best information on real estate investing.
Be sure to participate in the comments.
And subscribe.
Wholesale Hotline!
Welcome back to Wholesale Hotline number 276. My name is Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, Mr. Talk to People. Joining us soon will be Morby, Jamil Damji, and hopefully Jerry Norton, having some technical difficulties, but they should jump on here any time. I want to welcome everybody to our weekly Monday show where we discuss everything that you need to go out there and find the absolute best real estate opportunities in your marketplace. I don't care if they are on the market. I don't care if they're off the market. I don't care if it's a referral. I don't care if you're selling the deal or you're finding the deal, if you're negotiating directly with a property owner, or if you are negotiating with a real estate agent. We will answer all of your questions here. It is so exciting to see everybody, Britt and Dallas and Peggy and Randy and Jeffrey and Anonymous. And and we've got a couple incredible wholesalers here that are ready to rock and roll. And there he is.
Boom.
Subto himself.
Here we go. Here we go. Really good. We're going to bring in a wave of people right now. We're like 650 right now, but I think we'll hit about, I don't know, probably around 1,500 today. We got a lot of cool people coming in to hang out.
Look at these guys. Look at these guys. Jamil looking great. How are you, brother?
I'm doing excellent, man. How are you?
Really great. Thanks for jumping on here, guys.
Of course.
We're already at 700 people live, 810 people. What is going on? What is going on, Pace?
Here. What's going on? Pace just unleashed one of the most incredible resources for the top tier TC, Subto, and Gator communities, and had one of the most incredible announcement Zooms ever. He brought Tim Story on to chat with a big group of people about how we can turn our setbacks into our setups in life. And then he told us all about the Creative Campus, which is just a mind-blowing way for all of us to stay connected and communicate. And then he said, you know what? Let's blow Brent Daniels' mind and have all of us go to Wholesale Hotline and say hello to Johnny Bravo, Mr. 22-inch Pythons himself.
Come on.
So here we are.
I love it. Well, welcome, everybody. If this is your first time watching Wholesale Hotline, welcome. We do this every Monday, and this is going to be a good time. Who is Tim Story? Explain that.
Oh, my gosh. Tim Story. Pace, why don't you explain who Tim Story is?
Tim Story is an author, New York Times bestseller. He's had multiple TV shows. He's been on Oprah 7 times. He consults and does mindset coaching for presidents of the United States and other massive names all over the world. People like Pharrell Williams hire this guy to come in and teach them how to break through and have massive success in their life. And he's probably been when I hang out with him a lot at Aspire Tour when we speak together. I tell him he's the mentor to the stars. And so just about any famous person you could imagine has hired him for mindset coaching. And so Jamil and I this last year, I've been hanging out with him a lot at the Aspire Tour. And he's like, dude, how do I hang out with you more? When I come and see you at Aspire Tour, I see all these people with these peace signs on their hat, and they're freaking the coolest people out of the whole entire 3,000 person arena. What the heck are you guys doing? And I said, come hang out with us in Boston. And so last year he hung out with us in Boston. He spoke on stage for us. And then he said, I want to hang out with you guys more. Like, how can I show up for your community more and more? And so we just text him and we say, hey, can you come and speak about this? Or can you talk about that? Or, hey, have you have any experience about these things? And he is probably one of the best at getting people to get through their mental breakthroughs, which is awesome. How many people enjoyed Tim's story today? So give us some love in the side comments.
I absolutely did. It was incredible.
Amazing. 1,100 people in here today. They all came to see Brent Daniels. Brent Daniels, let's give the people some wholesale education today. What is working right now for wholesale? What list is your guys' favorite list? Who do you like to go after? What are you seeing? Is it a great market, a bad market? Some people in the side chat are buying RV parks and mobile home parks and businesses, but it's Wholesale Hotline. So let's break down some wholesale stuff today.
Listen, I highly suggest if you have been in this business for over a year, go back to all of your leads that have been kind of stale and old, have been sitting there for a long time. They've been kind of sitting on the fence because we're seeing those deals pop like crazy right now. I don't know if you guys have seen it locally here, Jamil and Pace, but the news, it's just doom and gloom. Oh, it's a buyer's market. The market has turned. There's so much inventory. Sell now before it all crashes. That is the message that's going out right now. So all of those old leads, those agents that you talked to 6 months, 8 months ago, all of those property owners that you talked to 8 months, a year ago, that had all of these super high expectations that their property was worth way more than we could offer them, are getting realistic right now. So one suggestion that I would give, Pace, is go back to all of your past leads, all of your past relationships, and start having those conversations again, because they're going to get off the fence and they're going to make a decision here quickly.
Sorry, go ahead, Pace. And
I was just going to say, it's really interesting how the news will actually change consumer sentiment to the point where your sellers and your agents will actually react to it, and you'll end up getting better deals. And so for people that know how to ride the wave that Brent is talking about, he is 100% right. Now is the time to get great low deals or incredible terms.
Straight up. And example of that. So there's a deal that I'm working on right now in West Phoenix. It was one, listed property. I had submitted an offer on that was roughly $110,000 below list price. And I submitted that offer during one of our No One Left Behind challenges that Pace and I had done a couple of months back. I just get a text message over the weekend from the listing agent who had essentially laughed me off the call at that time. And said, my seller has had cash offers in his hand higher than yours. I have an offer right now that's $40,000 higher than you. All the standard real estate agent lies, right? I have a much higher offer right now. I've got cash offers that are $50,000 higher than yours. My seller would never take that offer. Whoopty, 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 whoopty. This is what I'm getting. The agent reaches out to me today and I said, I apologize that we didn't do the deal at that time, but I'm nowhere near that number today as I was 3 months ago. My offer today is $40,000 less than it was 3 months ago. And Brent, they just signed the contract.
Yep.
So I am $140,000 lower than what my original offer was. Sorry, I'm $40,000 lower than what my original offer was, which was $100,000 below list. So right now, my accepted contract is going to be $140,000 lower than list price.
Wow.
That's the power of this market right now. And Pace, you're 100% right. The news did it. The news did it. The news is loud. The news is reverberating in the ears of our sellers. It's reverberating in the ears of real estate agents. And they're all taking note. Now, friends, now is the time. And it's so cool that we're talking about this today, because I have a few points, and I'm going to just quickly say them. Somebody in the side chat, write them down, and I'll shut up. What are the indicators of a buyer's market? Number 1, greater than 6 months of inventory. Number 2, over 75 days on market. Number 3, drastic price reductions. Number 4, motivating language in the listing. Number 5, seller concessions continuously increasing. Number 6, buyers agents commissions increasing. Number 7, prices declining. Number 8, notices of default increasing. Number 9, foreclosures increasing. Take them away.
That's incredible. Did you guys get all those? If you guys put it in the chat, if you picked up one or two of those, put it in the chat and we'll get all 9 of them in there. But absolutely incredible. 75 days on market. And listen, the inventory, guys, the inventory, that is what our cash buyers are looking at. That's what the investors that we sell our deals are looking at. They're looking at, okay, if I buy this property, it is a risk because by the time it's fixed up, it's looking perfect, it's put on the market, it's sold, and I get my money back out, hopefully with some profits. What is it going to be worth in 3 months, 6 months from now? That's what they're looking for. And their crystal ball, their little magic ball that they're looking at is the inventory. How much supply is there in specific areas? It could be neighborhoods, it could be zip codes, it could be counties, it could be towns, it could be cities, it could be all of those things that they're looking at to make that decision. But I will tell you this, Pace and Jamil, we are not having a problem selling our deals.
No,
we are not having a problem signing our deals. But I saw, and I haven't watched it yet, Pace, but there was a thumbnail that said something about low ball offers that you just put out. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah. So Jamil and I were doing a contest called the No One Left Behind Challenge, where we bring in members of the community that have not done a deal yet. Either they're brand new or maybe they've been in the community and they fell away because they got pregnant or they got a job relocation or whatever. And we just have this dream of making sure that everybody that is in our circumference is doing deals. And so we invite them to come to our office once a month, spend a week with them. And on one of the calls that we made, and actually it happens a lot, you'll get agents that go, oh, don't tell me that you're one of these people that do low ball cash offers. And the video was actually the tail end of that call with the agent. And you immediately know when an agent's never done a real estate transaction as the principle of the transaction when they say something like a low ball cash offer. Because what they're telling you is they're like, I actually don't understand how investors make money at all. I assume you guys can pay 90 cents on the dollar and still make money. And so that video was me breaking down a call that we had just wrapped up in front of 75 people. And then breaking down the numbers and explaining to people that there's no physical way for you to buy a deal, unless you're buying with creative finance, of course. There's no physical way that you can buy a deal without a low ball cash offer. And the agents who have done those types of transactions, they freaking get it. The agents that don't understand that are the ones that have just simply not been party to a transaction as the principal. And so I was trying to highlight to the audience, don't get discouraged when you talk to those agents. They're not the agents you're going to do 10 deals a year with. Right. Those are the agents you might do one deal with once. Go find the agents like Jamil's Monique Walker or other agents that we all have done business with that just continually send you deals over after deal because they get the business. So that video, I think it did pretty well. Not as good as my airplane video. That video has got like 200,000 views or something crazy in the last couple
went bananas. Yeah, that one went bananas.
That one went crazy, but that one did really well because I think a lot of people in the comments are like, finally, somebody's talking about these agents are just uneducated and they don't understand that you do have to have a low ball cash offer. Otherwise, nobody's going to buy the deal, period. End of story.
Guys, I don't understand how you have so many people on here tonight. Is this what you guys are doing on Monday nights without me?
Yes.
Honestly, how do you build this up? Because I saw there was 1,104 at its peak. There's 1,093 right now. Did you guys email your whole list? Like, what is this? I don't know.
No, this is just a small fragment of the Subto and Gator communities. And we sent an email to everybody a couple of days ago just saying, hey, we want to bring in Tim's story to have a heartfelt message about setbacks. And while we were on the live, I go, dude, can we just all go in there and blow Brent Daniels' freaking mind and just get like 1,100 people to show up? And
I'm not kidding you, Brent. That's exactly what he said.
I feel overwhelmed. I really feel overwhelmed. There's a lot. There's so much going on in the chat. This is like the greatest day of my life. This is incredible.
That's what we thought, bro. I'm telling you, he was legitimately did this. He wanted to give you a gift. He said, let's go blow Brent Daniels' mind today. And let's all of us go show up to Wholesale Hotline. It was phenomenal.
Do you know how hard it is to get over 1,000 people on a YouTube live? Like, do you know anybody that does that?
Impossible.
That's not a gamer or something?
Yeah, us.
unless you're Pace Morby.
It's incredible.
Us.
It's
Well,
incredible.
the cool thing is, like, the more you, we already know this really well. The more you serve people, the more you contribute to their lives, the more they'll show up for you in return. And so, guys, thank you so much for showing up for us today. We're so grateful. We do this every Monday night. If you guys didn't know this, and yes, Brent, the thing that I've missed out on a bunch of the wholesale hotlines on Monday nights because my team at Subto repeatedly puts things on my calendar at 5:00 on Monday, and I finally told Sarabi that I'm like, I can't do things on Monday night. I'm at Wholesale Hotline. Please stop putting things on my calendar. So Sharon says, I love that Brent is loving this. I told you guys he would freaking love it.
1,117.
Yeah. Yeah. They all came here for you, brother. They all came here for
guys,
you.
we love you guys so much. I mean, we've been doing this over 5 years. This show every Monday is really designed for exactly this. This is all about squatting up. This is all about connecting. This is all so that you have solid proof that you are not out there alone. You don't have to do this business alone. You can connect with amazing people every Monday here on this show that you can do so much business with. That's the best part. It's not just like, it's a group and we get together and we hold hands. Like, people are going out there and getting unbelievable, massive opportunities that change their life. You're one conversation away from a unbelievable deal. The deal of a lifetime comes around once a week. And to be able to have so many people here that are connecting and sending so much love, it's just absolutely incredible. It's incredible.
Can I ask you guys a question about the Zillow ban? What do you guys know about the Zillow ban? Let's talk about that for a couple minutes, if you guys are up to date on this. Jamil, Brent, are you guys up to date on the Zillow ban?
A little bit, but open it up.
Okay, so
a little bit.
There's a lot of people suing Zillow right now because the listing ban just went live. And essentially, I'll keep it really simple. Zillow has built such a massive following. So many people rely on Zillow. The Zillow's like, you know what? We're going to attack agents that want to have exclusive listings and they don't want to share these things. And they're not trying to give us all the data. If you're not trying to give us everything, we're not going to put you on Zillow. And so now they're getting sued. Literally, I think Compass Bank is suing Zillow. There's 4 other companies. Let's see. Inman. Oh my gosh. Wow. Inman, you know, they're suing Zillow, like the big real estate conference, they're suing Zillow. So many people. This is what freaking happens when you build such a massive following and you have all this data and people rely on you. You can go and push yourself around. For those of you guys, I know, Jamil, you use Zillow to do comps, correct?
Correct.
I wonder if this will affect you. Basically, it's strong arming agents into giving all the data that is on the MLS over to Zillow. Yeah. What Zillow is trying to do is essentially be more dominant than the MLS.
Yeah, and I understand why. Here, let me give you an example, Pace, of where it gets really dangerous for the consumer, for real estate agents to hold on to data and not share it. So let's look at Canada, for example. Canada has Zillow. You can go onto Zillow and you can find actively listed properties on Zillow on the Canadian MLSs, and you can actively search those listings and find potential deals to sell or to purchase if you're a retail buyer. But what if I want to see how much properties have sold for? What if I want sold data and I'm in Canada? Where do I get access to sold data? How do I know that the deal or that the property that the real estate agent is presenting to me as a potential home for me to write an offer on, how do I know that that real estate agent is actually being honest about value? How do I know that I'm not getting sold a property or told about a property that they have some kind of incentive to sell? How do I know that I'm actually doing this for the right amount of money or offering the right amount of money? Unless I got that sold data, unless I have access to that MLS information, my hands are tied. I'm at the mercy of the agent to be honest with me. And that's what NAR wants. That's what real estate agents have been trying to do. And they've successfully done that in Canada. You cannot get sold information in Canada. It's much like a non-disclosure
like
state.
Anywhere in Canada.
Anywhere in Canada.
What is the purpose of that? Like, how does that benefit
It forces me to call a real estate agent to get an opinion of value from a realtor.
Okay, so they're strong arming people. This is why Open Door and OfferPad have had such a hard time getting the real estate agents out of the business. Remember when OfferPad and Zillow or Open Door came into the business, I don't know, 12 years ago or 13 years ago, they came to Phoenix and their sole intention, they're very vocal about it, was to disrupt the real estate agents' businesses and say, why do we need these people anymore? They're slowing down every freaking real estate transaction. The problem is they have a massive lobby group called the National Association of Realtors, which they're all a member of. They pay billions of dollars into this thing every single year. NAR has endless amounts of capital.
Correct.
And so it's the same thing with Canada, it sounds like, is that they're strong arming people to force them to work with real estate agents. It's the same thing that's happening with wholesale regulation right now, is that who's pushing wholesale regulation? Is it Grandma Smith that's like, hey, I'm upset that this person went and made money on my house? No, it's real estate agents and local representation of NAR, National Association of Realtors, spending money to lobby against wholesalers because they feel we are a threat to their business.
Yes,
and so
sir.
they're doing the same thing Canada's doing, strong arming.
Yes, sir. And
Interesting.
that's why this lawsuit is so important. That's why Zillow having access to this information, whether or not you agree with Zillow's potential monopoly on the the retail real estate market and where the retail buyer is getting their information on or not, whether or not you are in agreement that Zillow has cornered that market, I still think companies like Redfin have done a great job. I still think Realtor.com is doing a great job. I don't think Zillow is monopolizing that market at all. I think they're doing a better job than anyone else. And so they've gained a lot of market share. But when we are pushing companies like Zillow away or trying to restrict them from having access to information that as a consumer can help me make a more informed decision, you have to question why. And I think that's the biggest question that we have here, Pace, is why are the real estate agents trying to withhold this information? Why do they not want Zillow to have access to this data? Why?
You know what's the best part about Zillow? They have a warehouse of cold callers that cold call real estate agents all day long to get them to spend money for Zillow leads. So agents list a property. They then get access to put that out into the world on their website. And then they sell the leads that they capture on their website back to the realtors. Isn't that crazy?
It's super crazy.
That's their business model.
Genius.
And
Genius.
then for them to have a problem, like for instance, okay, like if you've got I believe this, like, private listings or exclusive listings, right? I mean, it's an agent's and a seller's right to make a listing exclusive. It's their right. And if that agent is in contract with Zillow, and for that reason, if then Zillow is the only place where that deal is being marketed, then again, it's their right.
By the way, in the listing agreements, Jamil, you have to check a box that says that the owner is comfortable with you putting it on IDX, which is the platform or whatever that goes out to all of these different companies that gives all the listing information, all the photos, all of those things. They pay for that, by the way. People pay for an IDX license. Maybe it's called something else now, but that's what it was maybe a decade ago. And you sign off. The owner signs off on it. They approve your ability to put it out to the world, not just on your local MLS, but to the whole interwebs.
Can I get really selfish for like 45 seconds?
Yeah,
go for it.
Jamil and I have developed a new website that is completely free, and we are attempting to disrupt the creative finance deal flow. I want to show it to you guys. It's called creativelisting.com. It was primarily geared towards people that are like, I can't go through a real estate agent because I cannot get qualified to buy a home. I realized so many people were joining Subto 3, 4, and 5 years ago, specifically not even to be real estate investors. They were like, I want to join Subto so I can learn how to go and buy real estate, primarily my own home, because I don't know where else to go. I'm a business owner. I have no ability to go get banked or get a bank loan. And we started saying, man, there's a lot of people that just want to buy houses for their like personal residence. And so this is where the idea started from. And I want to show it to you guys just real quick. We're talking about Zillow. We want to be the Zillow for creative finance. We want people to be able to go in there. And of course, we'll have cash deals as well. But primarily what we're focusing on right now is seller finance and Subto deals. A 0% seller finance deal just sold on there today. Yeah. And so things are cooking over here. Guys, do me a favor. If you guys are watching this live, this is completely free. I want you to go over here and I want you to just say, I'm looking to buy right here. I'm looking to buy so that your name can go on the map. And what's going to happen is that people inside of Subto will see your name right here. Donna K, she's looking, look at this. This is so cool. Donna K is looking for her primary home, Cincinnati, Ohio. And once you register and you're actually a member of creativelisting.com, it will show you all of her information, how much she can afford, what's her down payment, her monthly expenses, what can she actually afford? There you go. Sophia says, where are you buying? That's for you to tell us. Okay. Colin, good to see you, Colin. He says, I have 17 homes I can put on that right now.
Let's go.
This is built by Jamil and myself. It's taken us about a year to put this together, completely free. We don't know how we're going to make money from it yet, but that doesn't matter. We're just going to be doing this for free to get people to buy houses. Primarily, it started out as primary homes. In about 3 months, it will open up to RV parks, mobile home parks, apartment buildings, all creative finance as a focus, although we are selling cash deals on here as well. Novation agreements are on here. Subto deals, seller finance deals, lease options, executory contracts, everything you can imagine is on here. Morby method deals are also on here as well. Giancarlo says, is it going to have Subto houses? Yes. Please go over to creativelisting.com, come over here and say, I'm looking to buy, and then tell us what you're looking for. Create a buyer account. Tell us what you're looking for, and somebody inside the Subto community will start looking for a deal for you if we don't already have a deal that will fit your needs.
And then in 30 seconds pace, I can tell, for people's brains work in different ways, right? But looking at Creative Listing right now, looking at that website, my mind just can't stop spinning on how I can make money from this thing. Like how fast I can make money from having access to that information. Think about it. I could do a post right now on my social media stories and I could say, have you been turned down for a mortgage? Are you having a hard time qualifying at 7.5% interest rates? What if I could get you into a deal right now at 3%? Send me a DM. Now I have access to this entire inventory of homes that have 2, 3, 4% mortgages all across the country. And I could easily just take one of those deals and move them right over to one of those end buyers and make myself a quick 10, 15,000 bucks.
Yes. And guys,
who is posting the inventory pace?
Subto members and people that have learned how to do creative finance from myself over the last 5 years. And we also are going to open it up to our free Facebook group here in about 30 days. We have in the Creative Finance with Pace Morby Facebook group, we have about 165,000 members in there in the free group. And we get an average of 600 deals posted every day in that group. It's so overwhelming that those posts don't get any reach, right? And so we're even going to ask in 30 days that our entire free Facebook group is going to stop posting their deals in the Facebook group, which nobody sees, and actually go over and put them over here on Creative Listing. And we're going to build a big database. Essentially, it's the off-market MLS is what we're trying to attempt to do.
Yep.
But we're attempting to do it for free. I know that Investor Lift exists. I know that people use those types of things, but this is going to be completely free, primarily geared for the first 3 to 6 months around primary home ownership for non-cash flowing Subto deals, non-cash flowing seller finance deals. That is primarily the deal flow that has sold on there so far. So I'm using my social media presence to bring non-Subto members, non-Gator members to the platform as buyers. And so those buyers come to the platform. They say, this is what I'm looking for. That then encourages the Subto members to go, oh, great. Pace has already found a buyer for me. I now can do wholesaling the right way, which is find the buyer first, look for what the buyer needs. I'll go out and pull a list and specifically go find that for that family, and I'll get paid in the process. Currently, Jamil and I have no way of monetizing this, but we're going to build it up to a point where we have users and we have a great database, and we've gone through all of the new things that we're going to roll out over the next 3 to 6 months. We'll figure out we'll probably charge the buyer a fee to buy a deal on the platform. So anybody that wants to buy a creative finance deal, your primary residence, even as an investment, you want to skip the line. You don't want to cold call. You don't want to door knock. You don't want to do any of that stuff. You just want to buy a deal. You can do that on Creative Listing starting now. We just launched this on Saturday.
That's crazy. So cool.
It's so cool. And honestly, we should have done this a couple of years ago. It just, what was happening and why we didn't attack this is we just had so many Subto members having their own websites, right? Then I realized how fragmented it was and how there's 85 different sites and nobody knows one place to go. Whereas what we've been talking about for the last hour is the MLS and Zillow and real estate agents. They have a stranglehold on all of these buyers. And so people feel like I can't sell a deal if I don't have access to the MLS. Okay, well, what about the off-market MLS? What if we built that over the next 3 to 4 years? We didn't have to rely on these things. And if you are a fix and flipper or you're a buy and holder and you're like, I don't want to call, I don't want to negotiate, I just want to buy deals, where do you go right now? Well, you can go into Investor Lift. It costs a significant amount of money to post deals on there, to find buyers on there. It's very expensive. How do we create something that doesn't exist? And the first demographic we're attacking and have been attacking and has been very successful are Subto deals and seller finance deals that don't cash flow, but are perfect for families. Subto and seller finance deals or owner finance deals that are in HOAs that you can't really do anything with. You can't co-live on them. You can't do Airbnb. You can't do midterm rental. Who's the buyer for those? They're great rates, 3% rate. I got a rate today in Mesa, Arizona, 2.99% Subto deal that my team got, and it's in an HOA. Who's my buyer for that deal? It's an end user, right? A family that's going to go into that house and live in that house because they don't care about the HOA. In fact, they probably prefer one. And so creativelisting.com, guys, that is the link, www.creativelisting.com. In the next 6 to 12 months, we also plan on unleashing suggestions for lenders. So if there's a deal being done in that area, and the buyer says, I want to buy this, but I need help on the down payment, we will give them suggestions of lenders that are in their local area that they could sit down with. We're going to suggest even private money lenders. So for those of you guys that are Gators, then what we're also going to do is we're going to suggest top tier transaction coordinators on the site as well. This is 6 to 9 months away from being released right now. Just get over there, help us out, and get some users on there and tell us what you guys are looking for. Thank you, Mike Anderson.
Guys, again, creativelisting.com, creativelisting.com. If you're running into a different website, you typed it in wrong, creativelisting.com. That's exciting, guys. It's so cool. It's such a neat
opportunity to really take the democratization, which is what this is, of these types of real estate deals, and just put it in the hands of the people that it belongs to, which is the public, right? And one of the things that I like so much about the intention behind it is that you can tell, guys, Pace just said it clearly. We don't have an idea on how it monetizes yet. This wasn't built to make money. This was built to serve the community. This was built to serve people, so that they could get access to these deals. And I truly believe that when things are built with that in its heart, that's when things become what they're supposed to become. So just thank you for that, Pace. This is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's fun. And we're going to start adding cash deals on there as well. So if you guys are buyers, you just want to buy, BRRRR strategy deals, you want to buy fix and flips. Like my team will do 20 fix and flips this year. I want to be able to go on creativelisting.com and buy cash fix and flips. Right now, You look at if I go to like Keegly.com, which is where I find a lot of my cash deals, I'll go to Keegly.com. They're not in every state.
Nope.
They're not in every state. So
And
listing.
we're not that super great at updating it either. I'll be totally transparent. Some of our franchises don't update their listings on there. It can get a little bit difficult to get everybody to fall in line. And so the fact that you're organizing everything in here into one funnel pace is phenomenal.
Yeah. Scott, thank you so much for this. Scott decided he needed to tell me this. We just launched this on Saturday. Today is Monday, Scott. So yes, the listings are going to grow. Obviously, we just barely launched it. Today's the first time I've ever talked about it one time. So get over there. One of the most beautiful things about this is you can go over there and say, this is what I want as a buyer. Okay. So what happens is the people that are going to be posting deals on there can now go look for deals for you. We have 9 listings and literally we've never talked about this ever. I've never brought it up on Instagram. I've never brought it up on YouTube. I've never brought it up even inside of our Subto community. This is literally the first time we've talked about it, Scott. So here's what you should say. I'll teach you how to be a little bit more positive. Holy crap, there's 9 listings on the site and this is the first time you've talked about it? Holy shit. If you did it that way, you'd be a lot cooler, Scott. Just want to let you know. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to go bananas, guys. I think we all understand that. We've all seen your Facebook group go absolutely bananas. Subto community, Gator community, Astro community, TTP community, Wholesaling Inc. All of it, guys. CreativeListing.com. That's where you post your deals. That what are people looking to assign those deals? Pace? Are they looking to like what is the point of posting? I don't want to keep it myself, but I want to put it out there.
Yep. So I would say that again. Let's go to the original thought process of Creative Listing a couple of years ago. Just seeing the massive need for end users. One of the things that like investorlift.com does not do is actually find end users. End users are not even aware. What's an end user? It's a family. Okay. So think about this. Let's do a little bit of math on this for everybody. If I am a family, and this is my family, I grew up in a family of 12 kids. My father worked 2 jobs. One of those jobs was under the table and he could not get a bank loan to save his life. So what does a dad or a father do that has 12 kids that needs to buy a big house? What does he do his whole life in order to actually have home ownership if he's not bankable? Pretty simple. He buys everything on seller finance, Subto, or lease option. Every house I ever lived in, all the way up until I moved out of my parents' house at 19, that's 26 different times my family moved. My dad bought it either Subto, seller finance, or lease option. Why? Because it was the only way my dad could have home ownership. So I watched that growing up. I now see that with people who are going out and finding Subto deals is they'll go structure a house, right? I have a house right now. Again, my team just got under contract, 2.99% in an incredible part of Mesa. It's already renovated. The seller, one of the seller's husband passed away. She wants to move in with her kids. She's selling the house. She says, here's the keys to my house. Give me $5,000 and I'll give you the keys to the house. Incredible deal. 2.99%. Guess what? It's in an HOA that restricts short-term rental. It restricts midterm rental. They're hammering down, guys. HOAs are hammering down more and more and more and more. So who's the buyer for that deal? It's obviously not a real estate investor. A real estate investor does not want to have an HOA. A lot of times those nice houses are also not approved for Section 8. Surprise, surprise, guys. You guys are out there loving on Section 8. Section 8 has to be approved. The house has to be approved for the voucher in order for you to actually turn into a Section 8. This house cannot be turned into a Section 8. I already know that. So we are using my brand, and we are also going to start running cold traffic ads to get end users on this site, meaning families. Now think about this. If I'm a family, right? I'm a father who owns a plumbing company. I write everything off on my taxes. If you guys are a loan officer, you'll know that 60% of people that go out and apply for a mortgage today. 60% of people cannot get a mortgage, and it rarely has anything to do with credit. Most of the time, it has verifiable income as their biggest problem. The second biggest problem is length of employment at the current situation they're in. They might have just moved to a new city and now they have a new job. They can't get a loan for at least 2 years. Welcome to today's banking. So if I'm that guy, I have a family, a wife and a couple of kids, and I want to have home ownership, where do I go? I don't know. Nobody's ever educated me on this. It's not taught in schools. Real estate agents are not aware of it. We have the owner, the CEO of EXP, getting involved with us in October. His name is Leo. I had a 2-hour call with him a couple of weeks ago. We are getting their network of agents aware of creative listing so that they can they can put their listings simultaneously on creativelisting.com as I fill in the buyers for family members who are not bankable. So most of the time, the people who are posting these deals on the site are real estate investors. They're Subto members. They're people that have learned how to go do creative finance deals like me. And when they go and find a Subto deal that doesn't cash flow or is in an HOA area, instead of saying this is not a deal for me to be able to sell or assign, I'm going to go and put this on Creative Listing and find an end user. So I will probably guess that 30, maybe 40% of our users will be families that are moving into these houses, and they will be paying a finder's fee or an assignment fee to the people that are wholesaling these transactions on creativelisting.com. We will require them to use a transaction coordinator that has been certified by Molly, my COO. We want to make sure that creative finance transactions are done properly. And so the buyer and the person that's listing, we will do the transaction coordination. The buyer will pay for that transaction coordination to make sure the paperwork is done properly. And I would say that the average assignment fee is going to be somewhere between $10,000 and $20,000 for the wholesaler who is assigning the Subto seller finance or lease option deal to the buyer. How can I buy stock in this? I'll tell you guys, if you guys don't mind giving me, you let me talk a lot, so I apologize, but there's a company that came to me a couple of years ago, and the name of the company is Utopia. And Utopia is owned by a couple of members of Citibank, high-ranking officials at Citibank. They came to me and they said, we want to create a platform and we want to work with you. We want to give you ownership in this thing. We believe in what you're doing, this mission you're building. Your Subto community are just freaking ravenous beasts. We want to work with you. And over the course of a year of working with them and seeing what they're doing, I'm like, these guys believe this website is going to be worth literally $10 billion is what they said they think it's going to be worth, $10 billion bucks. And they wouldn't give me significant enough ownership unless I promised them that the Subto community would post all of their deals on their site. And I was like, okay, you are going to struggle with deal flow. Mm-hmm. What do I need you guys for? This is crazy. So I went to Jamil and I said, here's what I want to do. I want to build this and I want to work with you. And so we went and got a couple of members of Owners Club, our high level mastermind, Roz and Ingrid Hernandez. You know Ingrid Hernandez. She worked in database management for a big, massive company, and Roz is a software developer. And we have developed this site in about 6 months' time. We have a whole layout of all the new features that are coming out. And as of right now, we're not charging anything for it. We honestly don't know how we're going to make money on this quite yet. But we also have 500 other founders called Owners Club. We gave them ownership of this site as well. We are not going to be doing stock. We're not going to be selling any of that kind of stuff. We're going to own this entirely ourselves. We want this. And we don't want to sell this. We want to make this the off-market MLS, and it's going to take us 5 to 7 years to be able to do that. And we're going to get kicked in the teeth. There's going to be moments of doubt. There's going to be a moment of, why did we build this? What the hell are we doing? All of that stuff is in the pipeline. I'm fully aware of it. I bought a mouth guard just in case I get kicked in the mouth. Okay. So yes, FYI, we've got no plans on selling this, no plans on selling stock in this. We're just building this for the community and amplify everybody's deal flow. It's interesting, Brent. This is an interesting question. Thank you for this. He says, What about a small monthly fee, then an affiliate link as a way to monetize it? The problem is you're talking about the wholesale industry. Okay.
Right.
They don't want to pay for toothpaste, bro. Like the wholesale industry is the most interesting industry ever. They have such a significant ability to make so much money with almost no money out of their pocket, yet they don't want to put gas in their own car. They'd rather walk. Like the cheapest cheapskates of all time. Okay. And so right now we just have to make everything free for the wholesalers to actually want to put stuff on there. You tell them, hey, there's a fee. They're going, oh, scam artist, scammer. Oh my gosh, you're scamming me because you're charging me money. This is why they also don't want to get a real estate license. I'm also one of them, by the way. This is why I can speak intelligently about this. I also started in wholesaling real estate because it is free to get into. And I sold all my deals through Jamil because I didn't want to have to pay for a platform. I used Jamil's network. Okay. So there you go. That's the reason why. I don't know quite yet. Ingrid, Roz, Jamil, and myself will be continually working on it. But Mindlift says, oh, brother. This is an interesting thing. Honestly, Mike, that's a great suggestion. He says, take a cut of the assignment fee. The challenging thing there is that we don't want people to try and go around the platform. We want people to happily use the platform and not go, man, these guys took $1,000. What we think we're going to do, because a lot of the users, a lot of the buyers will be one-time buyers because they're family members, owners, right? They're buying a primary residence. We plan on charging them a fee, and that's where we're going to start to at least pay for development costs, et cetera. And then we'll figure out how to monetize on it a little bit later.
Awesome.
Great.
Can I give a shout out here to Mitchell? Just
Hell
closed
yeah.
my first wholesale deal today. $130,000 assignment fee. Give it up to Mitchell. Come
That's
on.
insane.
Wow.
As your first wholesale deal, you got 130K.
Holy.
Assignment too, Jamil. Assignment, bro.
Can we send him the link to jump on right now real quick and walk us through the deal? Because
That'd be awesome.
for him to do that over assignment and not choose to double close that was not only ballsy, but it shows that he had a great level of communication and transparency with both his sellers and his buyers. And so for this being his first deal, for him to have been able to pull that off on assignment, it says a lot about how he operates and how he moves. And I'm really curious to hear the story of that deal, regardless of whether or not he comes on. Congratulations, brother. That is a huge, huge feat. And congratulations, Brent, on helping him get there.
It's just incredible. I mean, one conversation away. Everybody on here, over 1,000 people. You're going to talk to people this week. You're going to have conversations this week with property owners or agents. You're going to be negotiating them, and you never know when you're going to get that big, massive deal that breaks your brain. $50K plus wired into your bank account when you have $13 in there will change your life. It will change your life. I am just telling you, it is all right there. This industry, this business is undefeated. If you can go out there and solve the problem of a property owner, whether it's creatively or whether it is with cash, and you can communicate with them effectively to get them all the way through to the finish line, you will be handsomely rewarded. You will. That's exactly what all of us did. Pace, I went back to the interview that you did with Steve Trang. I wanted to watch the interview with the owner of New Western because I hadn't watched it, right?
Yeah.
And then I saw your interview from like 6 years ago where you were talking about wholesale deals and you were talking about working with home investors and all of that. I mean, that's how you build momentum, right? That's the spark that gets it going, is just understanding that at all times, 6 to 10% of the real estate market based on the US Census is in some sort of problem. They have some sort of distress, whether it's a vacant property, whether there's financial distress, whether it's an inherited property and there's emotional distress. There are so many different reasons why people will sell their properties to investors. There's so many reasons. We just have to find them, and we have to talk to them on a daily basis, and you win. And you got to get loud on social media, and you got to get loud with your community groups, and you got to be connected with people that are doing this on a high level.
Check this out. So you made a really good comment. You said you're one call away from changing your life. Yesterday on Sunday night, I do the Get Creative podcast. Every Sunday night, I just talk about creative finance and deals that other people are doing. And right here, this little video right here, middle center left, Jessie Savoy. Okay. She does a 0% seller finance deal. One call. She literally made one call. It was her first call she'd ever made off market. She gets a hold of the seller, works a 0% seller finance deal for 20 years. And she's just like, it was my first deal, my first call. I got a yes. I bought a rental that's going to cash flow a bunch of money and make me a bunch of cash. And the seller gave me 0% seller finance and asked for $1,000 down payment. Guys, it is, like Brent said, it is one call away, truly one call away. And I'm sitting there just listening. Go listen to it and then reach out to Jessie. She's in a teeny little town. Let me show you the town she's in. This is mind-boggling because a lot of people will say, well, it works only in big towns. It only works in big towns. Then other people will say, it doesn't work in my town because my town is so big. There's so much competition. Okay. Got it. I have to freaking Google this. Check this out. Canepa. Okay. And Canepa, Texas. This is where she got her deal. By the way, it's not Nippa. She told me, look at this, a town of 1,000 people. And she's got 2 fix and flips and a 0% seller finance deal done just in the last couple of months. Literally, this happens in every part of the country, guys. Every part of the country. Brent Daniels is so right. Back in 2018, that's when Brent actually became my mentor. It's 2017, 2018. I had been wholesaling for 4 years at that point. I was a home investor for 4 years up until that point. And what's mind-boggling is that my biggest problem at that point was, how do I get away from only doing 10 deals a month? That was my problem when I was doing that interview in 2018 that you talked about from 7 years ago. My biggest problem in my business is that I was capped. I kept hitting 10 deals a month between my wife and myself. And then I rewind back to 4 years prior, and I'm sitting there going, but how do I get started? But how do I get started? And then 4 years later, my problem is I can only do 10 deals a month, bro. I'm capped out. This sucks. So I hired Brent as my mentor. Jamil's been my mentor. Brent's been my mentor. I've paid Jerry Norton as well to be my mentor. And I went from 10 deals a month to 18 deals a month. Now, I've never bought deals quite as low as Brent does, but I've done a lot of deals, and this business absolutely changed my life. Wholesaling is by far the most undefeated business on the planet.
I was looking at it, Pace and Jamil, and can you pull up? Can you Google it, Pace? The average appreciation over the last 20 years.
Absolutely, I'd love to.
The average appreciation, because the way that I looked at it is, if you have $100 grand, do you put it into a rental property or do you put it into the S&P 500? And 20 years later, if the S&P 500 returns, now some will say 8, we'll just go 10% over that time. And if real estate appreciates 5%, what do you net more money? Does your wealth grow way bigger from real estate, or does it grow bigger from the S&P 500? And if you look at that, so 4.3, right? 4.3. Yep. I put it to 5. I put it to 5% because Arizona's a little bit different, right? There's certain markets that are going to be higher than 4.3%. And Arizona historically has been, just fantastic. There you go. 4%. So it's right there.
No, that's incorrect. The average appreciation in Maricopa County last
2022. Yeah. So at 5%, listen to this. If you own a property for 20 years, you bought it for $400,000, you put $100,000 down. In 20 years, you have $1 million. You have $1 million. You have $1 million equity in that property in 20 years. Isn't that incredible?
What's incredible is a lot of people.
One property.
they forget about all the other benefits of real estate. You know, I like Cody Sanchez, good friend. We've had her on the show. She comes and speaks at Squad Up Summit. Awesome friend of ours. So I'm not trying to beat her up, but there's something that she, as a marketer of trying to buy businesses, even misses. So I saw a post of hers, I don't know, a year ago that said, oh, you know, I tease all my friends that are in real estate, like, oh, you make $400 a month in cash flow. I'm like, bro, I surprisingly, I do not buy single family homes for the cash flow. We buy single family homes for all the other reasons that, here, I'll break it down for you guys on a whiteboard just real quick. So number one, the first reason why you buy real estate is, of course, everybody thinks it's cash flow. And that is definitely a big part of it. The second one, which is what Brent's talking about, is the appreciation.
I would argue cash flow is the furthest down the list for me. That
I agree.
The cash flow all goes back into the property. It's $3,500 a year on average for upkeep for a single family house.
Right. Then the next one is the depreciation or the tax benefits, right?
There you go.
So
and
check this out.
Right? Leverage. I mean, you're buying a $400,000 asset for $100,000 Pace. You know what I mean?
I've got, let's see, I got an email from Ryan Cox from my family office. And he sent me, he sent me an email, and I want to show it to you guys just real quick. One RV park that I bought with no money out of my pocket. Okay, last year, one RV park I bought no money out of my pocket is, let's see, window, where is this email? Here it is. Right here. 3621 Mountain Highway. I'm getting a $93,000 tax benefit. So I bought this property and I will avoid $93,000 in taxes this year because of that one property. Then he decided to pull out 5 properties out of the homes that I bought last year. And he says, let's do another cost seg on those. I will save $145,000 in taxes from buying those properties. Guys, real estate is undefeated. Undefeated. It's not even remotely close. And one of the ones that I love the most, which, you know, Brent's teeing me up on this one, which I appreciate. One of the ones that I love the most is very rarely talked about, and it is the pay down.
Yeah.
My tenants are paying down my debt. And so not only am I getting the upside of the appreciation, the property's growing, but also what I owe on it is going down simultaneously. And you look at like Jesse Savoy, who got that 0% seller finance deal. Okay. Holy moly. She's paying down 100% of her payment, pays down what she owes to that seller. It's so incredible. And then number 5, my favorite part is I call it leverage. Leverage is actually my favorite thing. And what I mean by this is that I can go and do a refinance on one of these houses every 5 years, suck out a big chunk of money. I just did this on a 256 unit apartment complex in Illinois a couple of months ago. And we pulled out $2.1 million in cash, tax-free. Tax freaking free. You can't do that with stocks, guys. You cannot do that with anything else. Real estate is the ultimate freaking cheat code.
He's 100% right. He did that on a big level, on a $2.1 million multifamily. This house that I'm sitting in right now, I just got $196,000 wired into my bank account to live in this home, Brent. Tax-free.
How does that happen? Break that down.
Bought the house, a wholesale, renovated it. So we forced appreciation. We did such a good job renovating the house. I decided I wanted to move into it. Plus, I didn't want to go through the whole put a house on the market right now with all of the things going on and the interest rates. I didn't even want to get beat up on the retail market. I just decided to keep it myself. So I went, got it appraised, got a refinance on it. On the refi, because we increased so much value on the property, I was able to pull $196,000 tax-free dollars in my bank, and I get to live in this beautiful home with a pretty decent payment on it, but I got $196,000 tax-free, bro. That is crazy to me.
I mean, that's the wealthy move, right? The wealthy move is get an asset that you have a lot of equity in, whether it's stock in your own company, like Elon Musk or something, or it's a, part of your rental portfolio. You have that asset. When you get a loan against that, that money goes to you tax-free. You have to pay that back over time. But I remember, guys, I was buying socks at Nordstrom, and the guy checking me out was like this slick, cool, handsome guy. And he was like, "What do you do?" And I said, "Real estate." He goes, "Oh, I can't wait to buy some rentals, bro." And I was like, "Why?" And he was a total bro. He was a total bro. And he's like, "Because I want people to go to work to pay my bills." And I was like, "Oh." That's one way to look at it, but it's the absolute truth. A certain percentage of people's income goes towards their living expenses. Where do they live, right? What rent are they paying? And that rent goes towards the mortgage, and the mortgage each time that gets paid, a little bit gets knocked off of what is owed on that property, and somebody pays off your loans on these properties, and it's called rent. I mean, the whole country is based off of rent. It was land rent. It's called property taxes. This is how it all happened after the War of Independence. The government went out and said, "Hey, we're not going to do this whole king and empire thing and just give certain people access to the property. We're going to let anybody that wants to pay this land rent go in and buy property, and we're going to expand our country that way." And that's exactly what happened.
Shabir Khan says, "Where's Jerry?" I'm actually texting Jerry on the side right now. He is driving from Tennessee to Montana, and he is almost here in Montana. They stopped for dinner. He thought he was going to make it a wholesale hotline, but the kids were starving, so he stopped. Jerry lives in Montana for a couple months in the summer, and Tennessee the rest of the year. So he is cruising right now in a van full of kids. Freddie Poveda says, "Rental properties are lovely, but you need 2 buckets: wholesale for cash, living expenses, and your second bucket for rentals for long-term money. If you don't have those 2 buckets, clear."
Yep.
I agree with this entirely. There's rental properties. I have a rental property in Atlanta, Georgia. I just sold it 6 months ago. Jamil's been there. The house on Maddox.
Mm-hmm. Great house, man. Great house.
Yeah, I missed that house. We just sold it. And the reason being is it gained $400,000 in equity since I bought it.
Yep.
And the property did not cash flow a lot of money. And
it should have, but Atlanta went and did that bonehead move and outlawed Airbnb. Because I remember when you first bought that thing, it was going to cash flow a few $1,000s a month, and then lifes and things change. And how did you end up? So you gained $400,000 in appreciation, which congratulations, that's phenomenal. It was a beautiful house. What did you do in the interim to hold the property so that you weren't on a massive loss every month?
The payment to Jillian, the seller, who you also met, the payment to Jillian was $7,000 a month. And I found a renter for the last year I owned it for $7,000 a month.
I mean, it's a beautiful home on a creek in one of the best, like Brent, we're talking this is a house that one of the members of Outkast lived in at one point. Like this is a gorgeous home. And what's the neighborhood called there?
It is called
Ainsley Park, is it?
Yeah, Ainsley Park, yeah.
Ainsley Park, yeah. Really gorgeous area. The house literally had a creek running through it. It was just a phenomenal property. And I remember Pace did this really interesting deal with this woman where every time he got to town, a part of his deal with her was that she had to buy him steak dinner.
Yeah.
Every time he went to town.
Can you read that comment real quick?
Those were in the terms.
Hey. Thank you, Giancarlo. That was in the terms. I had a student that brought the deal to me, Maurice, and Maurice brought the deal to me. What's so cool is Maurice at the time was a security guard, and he was making calls in his booth doing security work. And he calls me up and he goes, "I have an impossible seller. She has a lot of pain, but she just won't sell on seller finance." And I'm like, "Okay, hold my Diet Coke. Let me call this lady." So we worked a deal. And as I worked the deal with her, I was on a live Zoom with like 600 Subto members. This is back in like 2020. And in the side chat, somebody says, "I bet Pace can't get an even better deal. Like I got 4%, no money down, great deal. And somebody says in the side chat, I bet this is as good as this deal is going to get. And I said, Julian, I also have a request. I go to Atlanta a lot. And anytime that I come to Atlanta, I want you to buy me and my guest a steak dinner. And she thought I was full of crap. And then I brought Jamil to her house, like her other house up the road, met her husband. And she's like, okay, let's get the deal done. And in the promissory note, it requires her legally to buy me a steak dinner every time I come to Atlanta, Georgia. And the reason why I did that is because I just wanted to show people that you can literally craft a deal a million different ways, and you can throw anything you want into an agreement. Most people are thinking about purchase price, down payment, interest rate, and length of time, but you can also add food items in there as well. So, but anyway, that deal, Jamil's right. Atlanta, Georgia outlawed Airbnb beyond having one, and you had to be licensed to do it. And then they even made it harder in some of the counties where they said you have to live in the property if you're going to Airbnb it. And I was like, I have 70 Airbnbs. Like, what are we doing here? You know? And so I sold everything or converted everything to midterm rental. And that property had enough equity that I go, all right, I'm going to sell this property. I'm going to put a tenant in here. I know the property's going to take a long time to sell. So I put a tenant in the property, sold it, and I made $400,000 on that transaction. I put $0 into the property. I never lost any money on a monthly rent. I had months where, we broke even or whatnot. But during the Airbnb days, I was making $2,000 or $3,000 every single month net. So I had a little bit of stockpile of cash, which was nice. But that house is good proof that you don't have to have any money. You don't have to have any credit. And you also don't need to bank on the cash flow, because what ended up happening is I just sold the property and I did a 1031 exchange with the $400,000 into an RV park that I now own. And that thing makes $20,000 a month. So that $400,000 that was created out of thin freaking air on a property is the down payment on an RV park that I bought on seller finance in Big Spring, Texas. And that thing it's not $20,000. That's $18,000 a month.
Okay. So it's netting. I just want people to track this. Okay. What did you put down on that house, Pace?
I put nothing down.
Okay. So Pace puts nothing down on a home. Buys it creatively, figures out the arbitrage, or figures out how to manage the payment, cash flow, and whatnot. Things change. He figures out another pivot, gets that done. But in that process, guys, I want you to track this. Makes $400,000 in equity. That $400,000 in equity then becomes a down payment that buys him $18,000 a month in income. What do you think that property that's bringing him net $18,000 a month in income is probably worth in real dollars? I just want people to understand that from zero, you've been able to turn that into millions of dollars in real estate value and $18,000 a month in cash flow. And guys, it's all done on an idea. It is all done on an idea. It's something from nothing. Yeah.
It becomes normal. We talked about this a lot this last week. It becomes normal and standard. It's like Brent helps somebody go get a $130,000 wholesale deal. That's normal and standard.
Right. We're not even fazed by it. We're just like, yeah, that happens.
Yeah. That's like
every day.
It's standard.
I get like that every day.
I mean, you act the thing is, like, Brent, you would never text me or Brent or Jamil or Jerry and say, hey guys, I just helped somebody do a $130,000 deal.
Yeah. Cause we'd be like, yeah, okay. I just showered.
Yeah. Same thing with doing creative finance deals, is that they're so abundant and they're out there. We've got Michelle Bassan and Rinda Emick partnered up together last year. They bought 16 or 17 RV parks in 1 year. In 1 year, they bought 16 or 7. I can't remember the number. It's either 16 or 17. And now at this point, they tell me that, hey, we got another RV park under contract. I looked back at their old text message from a year ago and they got their first one under contract. And it was like emojis and this, that, and the other, and champagne bottles. Oh my gosh,
even excited now.
Now I'm like, okay, let me know when you get to 20.
Yeah.
It's kind of the tough thing. It's like I was talking about this with Jamil. Like Jamil's so good at comping and so good at wholesaling that it becomes like a parlor trick. Like people just expect that as a standard. Like, hey, Jamil, comp this deal. Hey, Brent, buy this deal super low, right? It becomes the new standard. So for those of you guys out there, I want you to understand it's just like anything else. It's like, okay, my son said the word hot dog yesterday. Okay, I don't know why this is so funny, but it was just funny watching him try to say the word hot dog. He knows how to say dad, mom, truck, and hot dog. Okay. And 3 months ago, he can't say anything, nothing, can't say a single word. Now he's saying the word hot dog. The funny thing is that was incredible yesterday. Then he woke up saying hot dog over and over, and his sisters are no longer clapping. His sisters are like, all right, what's another word that you can say? There's going to come a point in all of your guys' lives, everybody that's watching this right now, where doing a deal a week or doing a deal a month or buying a deal creatively or getting some $130,000 assignment will become normal and standard for you. Right now, it feels like you can't even speak the language. Tomorrow, you're going to say the word hot dog. The day after that, nobody's going to be impressed by it. That is your future. Your future is doing deals like this as a standard, basic daily activity. That is your future. Sadly, I struggled, Jamil struggled, Brent struggled, and Jerry struggled all to get into real estate. But now we look back and we're like, yeah, now our life is standard. You want me to go get it? Dude, you know the homeless lady that I was helping?
Yeah.
Somebody was like, why did you help her? Why didn't you just do like a challenge on your own? I was like, because nobody cares if Pace Morby does a deal.
Right.
Nobody cares if Brent Daniels does a deal. Nobody cares if Jamil Damji does a deal. You know, we were contemplating doing a challenge where Jamil, myself, Jerry, Brent, you drop us off in a cornfield in freaking Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and you say you guys have 10 hours to compete to see who could get a deal the fastest. Nobody would watch that because everybody's
from us. Yeah.
Everybody's going to get a deal. Now, if you get somebody like Brent that gets somebody their first deal is $130,000 assignment, now I'm impressed. Now it's like my son saying the word hot dog. It's like I turned around and took my eyes off the road when he said hot dog, bro. I'm like, what did this good dude just say?
Well, listen, step one is you got to make a decision. You got to make the decision if you're going to be in this business. Step two is you got to find your community. You got to find your tribe. You have to find people that understand what you're doing, because you're going to go and talk to your loved ones. You're going to talk to the people that you see all the time. You're going to be excited. You're going to have stars in your eyes. You're going to have electricity coming out of your fingertips about this business, and they're going to look at you with dead eyes. They are not going to understand anything that you're trying to accomplish. The next step, get proof of concept. Do your first deal. Make it real. Cross the bridge from faith to fact that you can do this. That is such a critical step. And then get the consistency, and then pull yourself out of the business, the day-to-day, and really become a business owner and really look for the best assets that you can go out and cherry pick and build your long-term wealth. But get rich first, then get wealthy. I'm just telling you, it's out there for everybody. It's out there for everybody. You got to make the decision though. You can't play real estate. You got to do real estate. You can't play. This isn't just I'm just sticking a toe in.
I love this comment.
This is actually in 2017 when I met Brent. I'd been following Brent for a year or so. I sat in his office, and I was secluded in my own little world doing homevestor deals, right? And all I knew was homevestors and Jamil, basically. And I hire Brent, Mr. TTP. I'm like, I need to buy more deals. I need to get away from homevestors. And I sit in his office and I ask him the same exact question. Like, bro, isn't there going to be a point where there's no more deals to be had? And Brent literally laughed just like that.
Yeah,
what?
It's a conveyor belt, guys. It's a conveyor belt. Market saturation only pops up for weak minds. That's it. Yeah. It's just weak mind. It's just a weak mindset. And it's not saying that you're weak. You just don't have enough experience out there. I have been hearing that same comment since 2010. Since 2010. Actually, I started hearing in 2004 when I started the business, and everybody was getting into it. And then the crash happened, and then that kind of settled in. And everybody's, oh, there's too many investors now in 2010. There's too many. And then in 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, now 25. There's too many wholesalers out there. Okay. We just keep making more.
Yeah. What's interesting is this, like, let me pull up my screen. And this is one of the things that Brent told me in 2017. I sat down in that glass office in Central Phoenix. He was like, let's talk about foreclosures. Okay. So guys, check this out. Let's go to, I've got Deal Sauce pulled up. I'm going to go to Maricopa County. That's where I like to invest. That's where Jamil currently is residing. And so is Brent. It's hot as hell, I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, before I even use any filter, there are 27,399 possible wholesale opportunities in this market. 27,000. Okay, right here in the upper right-hand corner. If I now go to the filter, I don't want Maricopa AZ. I want Maricopa County. My bad. Let's change that up. My bad, guys. Maricopa County. It's going to be more. It's going to be like a couple 100,000 deals. So I want to pull up a foreclosure list so you guys can just see how simple this really is. Let's go Maricopa County, not country, county. Okay. This is going to basically, it's using AI to tell me off-market opportunities. 1,388,000 houses right here in the upper right-hand corner. Yep. Fit an off-market profile. People that have high equity, absentee owner, board investor. Okay. I'm going to do see results. I'm then going to go to the filter, and I'm just going to go to, check this out, high equity, cash buyers. Let's see, low equity, board investor. I want foreclosures. 19,201 people are at some point in the foreclosure process. 19,000. Okay. 19,000 people are currently in some form of foreclosure in this market. 19,000. Guys, there are deals and deals and deals that are popping up every single month. Guess what happens? These people go out of foreclosure. Either they save themselves, somebody else comes along, you come along and save them from foreclosure, or they sell the property on the retail market through a real estate agent. And guess what happens next month? All of those people are replenished with new people going into foreclosure.
Mm-hmm.
Brent told me something crazy a couple of years ago. He says there's something like 17 million vacant homes in America.
11. Yeah,
11 million.
Guys, 11 single family. Yep.
11 million vacant homes in America. We could multiply this amount of people. 1,100 people hung out with us today. We could multiply this by 100. And it would take a lifetime, maybe 10 lifetimes, to even go through 1 million of those 11 million.
Well, here's the stats here. There's 1,000 wholesale deals done in Maricopa County every month. 1,000. All right. This is coming from Spencer Caldwell, Jamil. 1,000 deals in Maricopa County every month. And there is anywhere between 120 and 150,000 potential opportunities. So only 12,000 are selling a year, but there's 150,000 that are in rough shape out there just in this area. And guys, this is across the country. The East Coast is even more. Mm-hmm. Arizona wasn't even established till 1912. We weren't even a state.
Go into those older markets. Those older markets are just swimming in opportunities.
In 1950 here in Phoenix, there was like 50,000 people. Right. Now there's 5.8 million or whatever. Right. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have an old area here that, and that's just our area. You go anywhere east of the Mississippi, it is, I mean, guys, it is a conveyor belt of opportunities. Are you going to compete with offers on certain deals? Absolutely. Should you build skills of effective communication and discovery and really understanding what is the goal that this property owner has with this property? Yes. You have to, this is a skills-based business. It's all done on this device right here. But this thing can be distraction, or it can be your remote control to your business. I am telling you, this does it all. This does it all. There's no excuse. If you just go out and talk to more people than you expect.
Okay, so Paola, she says, what do you suggest a realtor does to start wholesaling? I would call expired listings. If it was, this is me, my personality, this is me. I would call expired listings and offer them creative finance.
I'll give you another suggestion to add to that. I think Pace's list is absolutely correct. I would go expired listings. I would do creative finance. And also I would do, as a real estate agent, I would just call those sellers and ask them if they would be interested in a cash or a creative offer that you are directly representing that you will bring them an offer that's either cash or creative from a buyer that you are directly representing. And that way they don't have to think that you're calling them for a listing opportunity, because that's what they're all getting hit up with. Everybody on the canceled and expired list right now is getting hit up by agent after agent after agent asking for the business, asking for the business, asking for the listing, asking for the listing. No one is calling and saying, can I buy the house? Can I send you an offer? So if you call and you give them either a creative or a cash offer, you will do deals. Hands down, you are going to do business. You do a daily dial every single day. Don't you, Pace, where people are shown how to call these expired listings?
Yes.
Every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day. If you're a real estate agent and you're not attending that call, it's like, shame on you. If you're not doing enough business, if you're hungry and you're a licensed agent and if you haven't learned how to convert a canceled and expired list into creative or cash offers, you are leaving money on the table. You are leaving business on the table, and you are willfully doing that because you're being shown, you're being spoon-fed the opportunity. You're just deciding not to do it.
Yeah, the person that teaches that class is Scott. And he came into Subto in 2022 when rates were really good and before they went up. And he's like, I want to learn a little bit about creative finance. Then as a real estate agent, which is his primary income, rates start going up. He loses basically his entire business as a real estate agent. And he goes, oh my gosh, I guess I should take this Subto community a little bit more seriously. So he came in. He asked that same question, what should I do, Pace, as a real estate agent? And I said, let me give you the expired listing training. So he goes in, does the expired listing training. He's like, are you kidding me? I could have been doing this the whole time. He almost went back to his old job that he left being an agent for. And he almost took that job from his boss. He was texting his boss like, oh, I need a job. I'm running out of money. Da, 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 da. Within 2 days of taking the expired listing training and learning how to pitch creative finance to expired listings, he makes $21,000 assigning a deal. He then a couple of weeks later makes another $40,000. So his first month in calling expired listings, free leads, completely free, he makes $41,000. The next month, I buy 2 deals from him. One's a 4-plex and the other one's a property on Ash. I can't remember. It's a single family. I don't know what we did with it. I think we turned it into a lease option, but that month, I think he made $90,000. Went from, oh my gosh, I have no money. I don't know how I'm going to put groceries on the table.
Right.
Thinking about going back to the 9-to-5 workplace and then jumping on expired listings. So expired listings as a real estate agent, you have a leg up because you can call sellers and say, hey, my name is Pace. I'm a licensed agent, but I'm not calling to list your property. I actually want to put an offer on your house today. But my offer is going to be a little bit more unique than what you've heard. I primarily focus on creative finance. Have you heard of that? Has anybody ever offered that to you? I have buyers lined up right now. Boom. You as an agent, you can call and go, I'm an agent, but I'm not calling to list your property. I'm sure you're sick of agents calling you and asking you to list your property. You have a cutting advantage. Massive, massive advantage.
Big time. Big time.
Yeah. Bettina Miner, she says, I still don't know how to send soft offer text quickly. I don't know what that means, Bettina. It might be a typo. Might be a typo.
I think maybe she's saying like, hey, I want to just float an offer to an agent. So like a soft offer. So what would the things that I would want to include in that text be? Right. A soft offer. If I was going to like, kind of like what you're doing on the LOI blaster. Pace, do you have somewhat of a template that you guys are using on soft offers that you could potentially point her to?
Yes. If you guys are in Subto, I will post the LOI that we use inside of the Subto Facebook group. And if you're not in Subto, just DM me and ask for, just type in LOI into my Instagram DMs. So that means go to Instagram, go to message me, send me a message and say LOI, LOI, letter of intent. And I will get you a copy of that. If you're in Subto, I'll just put it in the Facebook group and tag it at the very top.
No, I mean, forgive me if I was incorrect there, but that's what I thought. That's what I thought I understood of that.
Okay, so Claudia, she says, Pace, if we are the agent and we tell the sellers go creative and they say no because they want their cash and they say yes, but 50% down, no way. Claudia, you can do a lot of 50% down deals. Those are called Morby methods. And so what I would do is go on my YouTube channel and type in Pace Morby method. That is a different strategy that I created about 8 years ago, where the buyer can put 50% down through a DSCR loan and the seller will carry in a second lien position. I know that just went over half the people's heads. But go to Morby method on my YouTube channel and watch that. I don't mind putting 50% down. In fact, Mundo in our community, he's an owners club with Jamil and I. He does like 8 or 9 of those a month. It is his entire strategy is Morby methods. And so absolutely go in and learn more about the Morby method because you can do 50% down deals all the time.
And just to reiterate that, Pace, you're talking about an owner finance deal where they want a substantial amount of money down, and we don't have that. And you have a creative finance solution that can bring that substantial amount of money down without having it come from me.
Correct. Yeah. So the way we do that on a Morby method is, let's say that the seller wants $500,000 for their house, and you, the buyer, come along and say, I want to give you terms. The seller says, yes, but I want 50% down. Okay, no problem. What I do is I go to a company called myinvestorloan.com.
Okay.
They will give me a DSCR loan. DSCR loan is a debt service coverage ratio loan. That's the stupidest acronym on the planet, but basically it's a loan type that they will give you as long as the rent will cover the payment of the new loan you're getting. That's what debt service coverage ratio means.
So that's like, it's not based on my credit. It's not based on my income. It's based on whether or not the property, I'm leveraging the property at a number that can be covered by rent.
Correct. Yeah.
Amazing.
So what happens is my investor loan will give you that 50% as the down payment in a new loan, and that it will be in first lien position. And you'll obviously have a payment on that loan. And then the seller receives $250,000 from my investor loan. So you have a loan for $250,000 with my investor loan, and then the seller gives you a second loan in seller finance for $250,000, totaling the $500,000. So you're into the deal, no money out of your pocket. A lot of times that seller will let you not make payments on their portion of the equity for about 5 years to stabilize the asset.
Okay.
Living in Houston, Texas. I'm sorry. It's Andrew McGuire, not Scott. I misspoke earlier. Living in Houston, it's Andrew McGuire. Okay. Andrew McGuire inside of the Subto community. He teaches the class on expired listings. So yeah, a Morby method will allow you to get that deal done. And we have a lot of people that literally is their whole focal point is just doing Morby methods, finding sellers that want 30% down, 40% down, and going out and getting DSCR loans and then asking the seller to carry the back end.
And there's no other name for it. Like Evan is asking in the chat, you created this, you invented it. It's actually called a Morby method.
Yeah, it's never been. It was never done before 2017 when I did the first one. I looked everywhere, nobody had ever done it. Talked to dozens of lenders, nobody had ever done anything like it. Now I see people using it in multifamily. I see people hate calling it Morby method. There's a guy in Bigger Pockets that he's like, stop calling it the Morby method.
Of course, the guy in Bigger Pockets is going to say that. They're going to want to call it the. Anyways,
it's a bunch of Karens.
Yeah. The Morby method, I looked around. I was like, I don't know what this is called, but I think this is the way to structure this problem. Somebody must have already heard about it. I talked to a guy that I'd paid years ago to learn some creative finance stuff from. He's like, bro, I don't think that's possible. I'm like, perfect. Let me get to work. And so now there's thousands of them being done all over the country. It's freaking incredible. We get title companies that call me and go, I don't know what the heck this person's trying to explain. Can you walk me through it? And I just send them a YouTube video and go watch this YouTube video, explains the whole thing. And they text back and they go, got it. Okay, thank you so much. Connie says Morby method's where it's at. A lot of people doing Morby method. Timothy says DSCR loan is the 50%. And sorry, I missed where the other 250 comes from. Timothy, the other 250 doesn't come from anywhere. The seller is letting you make payments on the other 250. Go watch Morby method YouTube video, please, please, please.
And you can even structure a Morby method deal where you are walking away from the transaction with loan proceeds in your pocket so that you're getting paid to do the deal. The deal structures, it's not one that I have participated in myself yet. I'm going to do a Morby method deal with Pace here very soon, but I just got to talk to Matthew Starr the other week, Pace, and I think he pulled in I don't know if it was $100, $150 or $200,000 on a deal just recently on a Morby method. So he got paid to buy the house that's giving him cash flow, which is just, again, one of those crazy parlor tricks that we get to do in this business.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Richard Berger, who is in Subto. Richard Berger, go watch the Morby method training. You'll see the paperwork on how to make it happen. I also brought in one of my DSCR lenders that coached you on how to get the seller in second lien position. Go and watch that training, Richard Berger. Morby method in the vault. It's incredible. So, man, we had a lot of people that showed up for Wholesale Hotline this week, huh?
1,164 at the peak. Crazy. 1,164 on a YouTube live stream. Holy cow. Thank you guys. You guys are incredible. Good. You guys are the best. Absolutely incredible.
Brent, thank you for always being my friend and my mentor. I love you. I'm so sorry for you guys down there in freaking hot ass Arizona. I will be boating with Jerry Norton tomorrow. So hopefully you guys are a little bit jealous. What do you guys have going on this week?
Go ahead, Brent.
Wednesday, we've got our live show at 1:00 Eastern Standard Time, where we show you that there is literally millions of dollars of opportunity in any marketplace in the United States. We show you how to find them, how to negotiate them, and how to sell them without any of your own money and without your credit. Come and check us out on the Brent Daniels YouTube channel. Also, guys, Wholesale Hotline on all of the podcasting platforms. You got to check it out. Subscribe. Give us some love on there. I mean, we do this every single week just so that you guys can go out there confidently and take massive imperfect action. So check us out. It's a 7-day-a-week podcast, Wholesale Hotline. Check it out.
Jamil, what do you got going on?
Packing up my car, heading to with Charisma and our stuff and coming to Montana.
Oh, heck yeah. I love it. Everybody's coming to Montana. I freaking love it. Guys, thank you so much for being here for Wholesale Hotline, episode 276. We will be back Monday next week, every week, same time, 5 p.m. Arizona time. At 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is where we're currently going live, but it's always 5 p.m. Arizona time. That does change halfway through the year, sadly. But come and hang out with us next week, guys. We do this every week live. Usually get about 500 to 700 people show up, but today we broke some records. 1,200 people showed up and gave us some love. Thank you guys so much. We will see you guys next freaking week.
Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing? I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know. I
Okay.
forgot. So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.